Hey guys, I'm back doing another 16 millimeter review. Uh, got my son David right here. He might be helping me out a little bit today. I don't know. He's been in and out, so I guess we'll see. Want to say hi? Whoop. Say hi. Hi. All right. Well, this is a really special camera to me. I say that about all of them. I mean, they're all special to me in their own ways for their own little reasons. But this was this was the first 16 millimeter camera that I ever used, and this is the one that really got me into shooting with 16 millimeter. And I'll explain a little bit of that in a second because this is not the first camera, the first 16 millimeter camera that was in my collection. This was like actually my third or fourth 16 millimeter that I had. But I'll explain as to why it was the first one that I really got into in a second. Now I got this one off of eBay. I paid, I think after shipping and everything, I paid about $95 for it, all in total. This is either a 1954 or a 1957. I'm a little unsure of the dates because I've found kind of evidence to support both on some different camera sites and just different articles talking about it. I would go with, the way the pictures look and everything in the book, I would go with maybe 1957. But I could be wrong because I've been wrong before. This camera obviously came with a case. It came with a very nice original instruction manual, and it's got all your models right here. So this is the model 240 or 240A. This is just the basic one. You can see the 240T had a double turret, and the 240TA had the triple rotating turret, so you could have regular, and then I'm guessing would be telephoto and wide angle lenses as well. Really cool book. You got some exposure charts in here. There's different things about the case. There's how to hold the camera. Really interesting book. I love these ones that I can get and they have the original book in there with them. It's really cool to find that. And then the case all just kind of brings it together. But yeah, this is a what are you doing to that book? This is a great little camera. It's got a really cool kind of aperture size chart right here. Got your lens. This lens is very neat. You can choose actually on settings between 10 and 32 film speed, ISO. So those were the two that were most commonly available in the 50s. And it's got your frame rate, so you can go 16, 24, 32, 8, and 48. And then this one is cool because in addition to your film counter that shows you where your film's at, it actually has a spring motor counter right here. So you can see when you wind your spring, when you wind the camera up, it will actually tell you how much power is left in your spring before you have to rewind it again. So that's kind of cool. That's one of the things I really like about this thing. But yeah, let's just dig right into this. I love this camera. Once you got your camera all wound up, and you're ready to load it, you flip it over, and this one has these two thumb screws actually. Now they don't screw all the way out. They just sit on top here. So you loosen these up, and you can just pull it off. You can see this this camera's got a little film checklist in here. It's caught on the tablecloth there. It's got a cool little checklist, all the stuff to make sure you're squared away before you start loading it. And what I really like about this camera is this is what makes this a terrific beginner camera. So already, I mean, this locks out, this is your film counter arm. Now this locks out of the way here. You got your arrows that are really nice to show you the path of your film. But there's two things that's really cool about this. So these little pressure points here, when you put your lid back down and you screw it down, these pop up. And what these do is not only does this camera auto-load itself, when it goes around here, these points right here actually make your film loops for you. So where in the old cameras you had to fight with your film loops and try to get them to be accurate, and you had to check your film tension. Now, I'm not bad-mouthing the old cameras. They're really good. This just removes that step. This just makes it, of course, it's always nicer to have to do one less step for something. And this is a really easy camera to load. Like I said, just terrific for beginners. So you'd get your film put in here like this. I'm using this already developed home movie again. This is just, it's really easy to have these around to use them instead of having to burn off actual real light sensitive film to do this. Now if I could just get this situated down here on this peg, we could be ready to go. It's typically not that difficult, but for some reason tonight it's not wanting to go in. Finally got it. You had to be a little smarter than the camera. But so you'd grab your film here, and again, always like we remember, your light sensitive side is going to be facing out the lens. Now this is the really cool part. Now watch this make me look like an idiot, because sometimes it takes a couple tries on sometimes. But all you have to do is stick that end of film in there like this, and then you run your camera, and it will auto thread itself like this. There you go. Just auto threaded it. Now all you have to do now is take your empty film spool, find your little slot that's in there, get your film loaded up. You got David in the background here cheering me on or something. I really don't know what he's doing back there today, but he's got something going on here behind me he's real excited about. So you get your film spool all loaded up in there. I always give it just a couple more clicks to make sure it's going. Everything's running smooth. All right. Now you're good to put your top plate back on. And that situates down on there just like this. Oh yes, can't forget. Got to click your film counter back in there. Just like that. Wind her back down. Make sure it's tight, and you're ready to go. Now, once you have your camera all the way loaded up, you can wind your spring. You can see here that your spring's wound, and we have about 90 feet of film left. I burned off some to get it wound up in there. And what are you whining about? Oh, you dropped your candle holder. There you go. And your film is ready to go. So the way the book says to hold this is it says to loop your hand through this little loop, and you can adjust that strap to however's comfortable, and just put your fingers right on top of this eyepiece here. So then what you do after you get your aperture all set and everything, you can run your camera then just like that. Really good camera to run, really good camera to use. Very easy to use. Like I said, just incredibly user-friendly. Good for beginners because of the auto-loading feature. Now, I am, like I said before, I'm in no way bad-mouthing the old cameras, but it is easier just to have that extra step taken off of having to do your film loops and everything. This one, you just push the button and it sends it through and you're good to go. It should be mentioned with a word of warning. Now, this particular model, I don't know if all the Bell & Howell 240s were like this, but this particular model that I have here, this uses, the sprocket on this camera is a single tooth sprocket, which means that if you were to take it and look at the inside of the camera here, if you look at your inner sprocket here, maybe it would help if I turned the light on a little bit. There we go. If you look at your inner sprocket here, it only has teeth on one half. This top part does not have teeth. So this only has one set of teeth. And what that means is that this camera can either take double perforated film, which is what I have here, where you see the two sets of holes, or it can take single perforated 16 millimeter film, which means it would only have the holes on the one side. And the reason that's important is um, this is very much worth mentioning because I have made this mistake before. I don't want anybody to go buying a bunch of film and then have it be the wrong thing. The rule of thumb is this: if your camera has only one set of teeth on the sprockets, you can use either single or double perforated film. But if your camera has two sets of teeth on the sprockets, you can only use double perforated film. And the reasoning for that is double perforated film obviously has two sets of holes. If you tried to use single perf film in there, that second set of teeth in those older cameras wouldn't have anywhere to catch it, and the film would bind up in the camera, and it just wouldn't work. You'd get just half a second out of it before everything got all mixed up on the inside and you had to take your film out and it tore everything up. So this camera is really good because whether or not you have single or double, you can use it. In every other 16 millimeter camera I have, the sprocket has teeth on the top and the bottom, so I can only use double perf film. And actually, the same goes for old projectors. If you have a projector that has two sets of sprocket teeth, that means you can only use double perf. If it has one set of sprocket teeth, like my 16 millimeter projector does, that means you can do both. So that's really nice because no matter which of my cameras I use, I can run the same film through it and I don't have to switch up every time. So I just wanted to add that in there at the last because that is a very important aspect of it. I don't want anybody to get excited and get a camera and go buy a bunch of film and spend the money for that just to get it home and find out, oh no, I bought the wrong type of film. I have done that before. I have made that mistake, so you guys don't have to. When I was first getting into this hobby of mine, there were very little videos on the internet about these types of cameras and the history of them and how they worked. So that's what I'm trying to do for all you guys is put this information out there. Basically just kind of information dump everything I know so that other people who were getting into the hobby can, get a holding place and they don't have to just go around and try things out and try to find out stuff for themselves. But yes, so this is the Bell & Howell 240. This is a very, very nice camera. I've used it a lot. I have traveled a lot with it. Well, it's got the case. That makes it easier. I have taken a lot of my home movies on this. It's just been an all-around great camera. Like I said, I bought it on eBay for about $95, I think, in total when the shipping and everything was paid. When I got it, it reeked of cigarette smoke. I mean, that's probably just, I imagine it. It was the 50s. I'd imagine whoever had it smoked, and that was a very common thing back then. A lot of my antiques, when I got them, they just reeked of that cigarette smoke. So, but thankfully it's aired out now. It doesn't stink anymore. But no, it has been a really, really great camera for us. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you found something informative. As always, if I didn't catch something or you want to know something, get with me in the comments and we'll talk about it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.